Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we have John from Dairyland Frights Podcast. And I just want to give you a second, John, to let everybody know what it is you do, maybe why you do it.
Dairyland Frights pretty much is focused on the Midwest.
We're going to do things a little different today.
Okay.
Partially because I'm drunk and I wasn't sure what we were covering. I couldn't remember. And then I realized I didn't have your name on anything. What I did is I sent you some links here just in case you wanted to look at them. It doesn't matter. We do everything on the fly anyway. And I found this website. It's called nexusnewsfeed.com. And I've noticed a lot of times my favorite podcast in the whole wide world, the Kryptonaut Podcast. Hey guys. I've had Mark on the show. Oh my God, they are phenomenal. Seance. We are not doing a seance. Thank you. But we've had some stuff on here and I noticed that they were using this and it has like little short things. I figured we could do a couple shorter ones.
Sure. Looks like I haven't got the chat yet, Natasha.
Dick.
Wow.
But yeah, I sent some stuff, which is weird because one of the links I sent to you, when I tried to go back to it did not work. It's on your Instagram.
I'm sorry. Let me go to that. My bad.
Sorry. I was just trying to think of the first thing I could come up with, and apparently my drunk ass goes with Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Peeping alien. I like it.
Let me look at this one. I'm going to, if it'll let me. All right. We're going to start. We're going to go in order. We have cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy. I don't really have a creep, but we're going to figure that out.
I love it.
We're going to start with cryptid. I think I sent you this one. It should be a Coast to Coast AM bizarre mystery creature photographed on trail cam in Texas.
Yes.
All right. Spirits say that they're here. They're ready to go. So this one says a Texas trail cam snapped an eerie photograph showing a truly bizarre, mysterious creature that somehow compared to a chupacabra, which I will be covering soon. Later this week, I'm recording chupacabra. The very weird image was reportedly captured last month, and this came out this month. Actually, this one came out. This is probably September, August of last year. Let's see here. In the community of Dabuna, by a device placed by Michael Dimmel at one of his favorite hunting spots. When checking his trail cam, the latest offerings, he was shocked to see an unusual interloper. Sorry, everything's fuzzy right now. Bear with me, guys. But mixed in among the usual native wildlife. Closer. Okay, thanks. Apparently I need to get closer. Maybe I can move my mic. All right. Thanks, that helped. Mixed among the regular wildlife like rabbits, bobcats, and foxes. It says, my first reaction, this is a quote, my first reaction was something doesn't look right, Dimmel recalled, the moment he noticed the four-legged mystery critter crossing through the field. Although the hunter indicated, quote, my first instinct was that it was a monkey, likely due to its somewhat humanoid appearance. His theory is but one of many rather fantastic suggestions offered by the creature's nature. Quote, I showed it to my neighbors, family, and friends. I got everything from a skinwalker, a monkey, a chupacabra, and an alien. Remarkably, when asked about the image by a local newspaper, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department indicated the animal was probably not a small deer. They said otherwise they could not identify the creature due to the quality of the image. It says, what do you think about the image? Now, if you go in that link, the first hyperlink that's blue, it says here.
Yeah.
It will open you up to the photo.
Yeah.
P.S. Mind. I will put this link. I'm going to put the link to everything in the description here. But it is very fuzzy, but it does look rather human crawling wise. Looks like it's got a rather human. This is going to sound really bad, but sorry, y'all. It does look like it's got a little human shape on the ass end. But you don't see a lot of animals with that rounded of a booty.
Right. Yeah, right.
But the head's not really clear. It is very fuzzy. It's very foggy. It's a trail cam. For those of you that don't hunt, sometimes if you don't have the best quality, you end up with pictures like this. it does not, judging by the stand that the camera is on, the distance that it is from the camera, I would say it does not, clearly not a deer.
No, it's not a deer.
I wouldn't even say canine or canid. I'm not seeing a tail. If it was a dog, it should, unless it was bobbed, it should have a tail that
Mhm.
should extend past this initial post of the tripod here.
Mm.
You just can't quite get a good look at the face, but it does look. Now, aside from the front end, everything else minus these front legs, right? If you look at the
Yeah.
front legs, they do have that backwards bend like a dog would have, like a very canid type front bend.
Yeah.
Everything else about this photo does
Yeah.
not look canid. It looks humanesque.
Yeah.
I don't see hair though. I don't see horns. I don't see antlers. I don't see anything. It just it
Mhm.
almost looks, if I would imagine, like a goat man face is what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Minus, it says yes. Thank you.
There you go.
But the haunches just really look humanoid to me. They don't look animalistic at all.
No.
Mm,
Yeah, that is weird.
And yeah, there is a lighter portion right above where the haunches meet the body in the
Mhm.
front end that does look a bit
Right.
lighter than the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a lot of animals. So say coyotes, wolves, a lot of
Yes.
those
Right.
more canid type things do have that extra like gusto right there at the chest
Yeah.
and neck region, which is why
Mhm.
you pick a puppy up from the back of its neck, it's got that extra fur and all of that. And it does typically, from what I've noticed, it's a lot lighter than the rest of the
Yeah.
body. So that kind of that matches up. But it's almost like everything's human except these front legs. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah. It's one of those things that I've seen stuff like this before where man, one of the things out there is the dog man, right? That is a cryptid that's Michigan
I've got
around
theories on the dog man too.
yes, that is very similar. It doesn't look threatening to me. There's creatures out there called whites.
What'd you
Basically,
say?
they're
Lights?
oh, whites,
Whites.
WIG. Doesn't look like that, and that is a typical creature. It's looks like a white hairless dog, but has big black eyes. It's very distinguishable. It
How big is
moves
it? Are we
probably
talking like
about the
German
size
Shepherd or like Chinese Crested?
of Chinese crescent. Yeah,
Because that kind of makes sense, right? To have a
yeah,
small
yeah,
dog. It's like my dog. My dog looks like there's a lot
yeah,
more to him than there really is because he's very fluffy.
yeah.
But like you
He-
put him in the sink to wash him
yeah,
and he turns into like a wet rat.
yeah. Here's my problem with it, though. This is one thing. Again,
Gosh
trail
dang it.
cam. Trail cams are not it's trail cam is like that cheap camera you buy on vacation to, like, snap pictures, and it costs, like, $10. It's like that. It isn't
Yeah.
meant to give
Well,
it's not
some are. Some
meant
are
to
really
give
expensive.
yeah, yeah, you can get some that are, like, they have 3 or 4 cameras inside there, and those are mainly used, though, for something like you find poachers and stuff that,
Yeah.
some ranger might use at a national park, maybe find missing people. But typically, your average trail cam, you get at Walmart or wherever you get it. But I don't understand the it's fuzzy. Is that the picture? I don't know.
My thing, it is pretty
Hmm.
fuzzy. Judging by the size of it, I wouldn't even say this thing is like beagle size. I'm thinking maybe my dog size, but you clearly looking at it, you clearly can tell that it doesn't look like
Yeah,
there's a lot of fluffy fur. It looks very just
yeah.
skin based, minus that big chunky space.
Mm,
I just can't get a clear enough picture, but I just figured I'd put that out there because we needed a
I
cryptid in
love
our
it.
cryptids conspiracy.
I love it.
Um,
Love it. Yeah, I don't
wise,
know.
I have no
Mm,
idea. I figured we would just
yeah.
talk about something interesting. What was it? I feel like I had Okay, creep wise, I will tell you about something that happened to me, and it also happened to my son. This is really interesting.
Okay.
And I have video of it on my phone. I
Mm.
saved a video of it. I was part of it. I was out in my living room and
Mm.
I was painting my bones like I normally do. And
Yeah.
I'm putting epoxy on. And I swore, I could have sworn there was a person whistling in my kitchen. Not like to get your thank you. Okay, apparently it was. This was agreeing. It must have been him. Hi. It wasn't get your attention whistle. It was like I was doing a little ditty. You just walk around the house and you're like, do whatever
Yeah.
little ditty. And it was very much it reminded me of I got this feeling like it was like a 50s, 60s era type little doo-wop ditty. And it
Mhm.
sounded like it was whistling very clear. It was, oh my God, very clear, very loud. And it was in my kitchen and it walked like it was walking towards my room, into my
Mm.
room, and then I couldn't hear it. I look over, and as I look over, my dog is on the couch and he's watching something go from my kitchen to my bedroom, but there's nothing there.
Mm.
That same night, I know, that same night, I was in bed and my dog, who he just doesn't bark. Unless there's somebody in the house, he does not bark.
Mm.
And this dog was out on the couch, same place I was at. And all of a sudden, he's barking, he's growling. He is just pissed off. Something is in the house. But I have chimes on my doors. If the door ever opens, I can hear it.
Mm.
And my chimes never go off. The alarm system never goes off. My dog is just barking like crazy. He's growling, freaking out. And I'm like, hush, whatever. And usually that works. I turn on my security camera because I have a camera that's inside the house.
Okay.
He's on the couch looking at like the space that you walk through to get from the living room to the kitchen, which is all open anyway. And he is just barking, growling, hairs up, ears are up. And he's like running back and forth like he's freaking out. And there is nothing there. I come out and he's trying to jump over the back of the couch, which is way too high for him because he's a little bitty guy. And he's trying to jump over the back to get to me. He is panicking, but he refuses to get off the couch because he will not walk anywhere near the opening of that room. Something
Huh.
is there.
Yeah.
And I had to pick him up and bring him into my bedroom to calm him down. He would not come down. I had to go pick him up and take him. The next
Mm.
day, my son was home and the dog was in the kitchen barking and was chasing something into my bedroom and
Wow.
followed it all the way into my bedroom. Thank you. Hi. It must be whatever the hell this thing is. Okay. Who
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
if you're the one doing this? Because that'd be great to know.
Yeah.
Am I going to be like shocked to sit down? You're going to have a moment.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, my son got freaked out and I had to come home and sage the whole house because I was just like, so much weird stuff was happening. And this dog was adamant that there was something there. He never acts
Yeah.
like that. It's totally out of character, but it was
Mm.
really weird. And I have the video. I might post it online. Keep your eyes peeled. See if you can
Nice.
get that going.
Yeah.
But after that, I do have this one. I'm going to the peeping. Hi, whatever you are, whatever it is, it's here. Can you tell me what your name is? Just, I appreciate you using the light, but I would like to know who's in my freaking studio. I sent another link that I'm going to put down in the description. And by the way, I have not read any of these. I literally just picked some things because this is just new for me too.
I love it. I love
Sometimes I
it.
like to do that.
Yeah.
Now, this one says that it's in, oh dear God, why couldn't I pick an American place?
No,
It's
it's okay.
Western Sweden.
Nice.
Harja? Harja?
Sure.
HA with some funny symbols on top. RJ. Now, this was said it happened in August 25th of 1958.
Oh, okay. So it's long.
Oh, good God. Redeemed. I'm going to redeem myself. It looks like Ivar Newman
Sure.
and his wife, yeah, close enough, had rented a small cabin for the summer from a former Oscar who lived in a bigger house across the yard from the cabin. Yes. Now, this was in the farmlands of, oh dear God, Västergötland
Yeah.
in Sweden.
We
At
did.
around midnight on August 25th, Ivar was sitting in the cabin's kitchen table reading a book. Whatever.
Yeah, it's
Whatever. To each their own.
1958. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Good point. Now, his wife had already gone to bed and was probably asleep, I would hope. When he put the novel away to light his pipe, oh my gosh, this is 50s.
Yes, it's 50s.
Let me light my pipe.
Light my pipe, yeah.
Picture like the big robe when he's got his little slippers on. He's over by the
Yep.
fireplace.
Little smoking jacket.
When he put the novel away, lit his pipe, he glanced at the window beside him. Then he saw a figure moving near the outhouse. Oh, God, this is old school.
Yes.
It was
Very
dark
old.
outside, and he couldn't see the figure clearly. But he thought that it was the farmer Oscar just out taking care of business or
Yeah.
whatever, checking the property, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so he continued to read his book, but then after a short while, it suddenly felt like he was being watched. Oh, man, that's just the creepiest thing ever. I hate that.
Yeah, that'd be creepy.
All right, so he turns around, looks at the window, and stared straight into a face. Not
Oh,
more than
no.
20 inches, which is, it looks like it says 50 centimeters from him.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
close. This is like not even
Yeah.
2 feet.
It's not even 2 feet, no.
Yeah. Only the glass separated them. Jesus, I'm totally good. Ivar first thought that it was human, but then quickly saw that the quote unquote person standing outside was shorter than an average human. An 11 or 12-year-old child. Like, it's small. Okay, an average.
Mhm.
Mine's clearly not that small. But
Yeah, right,
an
average.
average size 11 or 12-year-old. Now, it says the head was covered by a hood or a helmet, and it was shining in a blue, cold light, right? The picture that's depicted on the site is
Yeah, I
really
know.
good.
Yeah, it's a
Now,
really good picture.
yeah, the being wore a kind of jumpsuit or overalls in the same shining blue color. Ivar was not sure about the skin color, but it was lighter than the clothes, maybe like a, it says true. Thanks. Like a grayish color. The eyes were definitely larger than an average human. They were dark.
Mm.
And it says they were almost completely black. And this says, quote, his or hers gaze had unexplained effect and hypnotized me.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, we'll dig into this here in a second. I think we're getting there. It says, for
Yeah.
some reason, Ivar was not scared of the mysterious being and hastily put on his shoes and jacket and rushed outside.
Mistake.
Never
Come on.
is offended.
Come on.
He saw the being was already running away and it jumped over a low fence, then was now in a field behind the cabin, about 100 meters, about 300 feet away from him. Ivar ran out to the gravel road near the house and tried to intercept the creature before it could get to where it was going.
Mhm.
After running for a while, he finds himself standing in a wheat field, just staring, just complete awestruck, right? About 75 feet up ahead, he could see a strange craft. Oh my God, I would shit my pants.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ivar had never really believed in UFOs. He was very skeptical, but then here he is, face to face with one right in front of him. Says the
Yeah.
craft was quite big, about 36 feet or 12 meter in diameter.
Okay.
And and there's like a big long ladder that goes with it. The being disappeared up into the ship. Suddenly, he hears a buzzing sound like an electric motor increasing speed. 3 telescopic legs under the craft retract into the hull, and the craft now starts to slowly go up into the air. Oh my God, I would just die.
Yeah.
Ivan tries to move, but he notices he's completely paralyzed at this point.
Mhm.
Can't move a muscle. The craft,
Yeah.
yeah. When the craft is gone, that's really funny because this was this Ivan. There's a typo. It says Ivan. The other was Ivar. The craft goes up. It starts to speed up and it flies over some trees, right? The trees, he knows that something's going on for sure because the trees are swaying as the thing goes past it. So it's not
Yeah.
like it goes by and he's, oh, nothing's happening. It's the thing
Mm.
goes by and he's watching the trees like, shit, this is really a thing, right? He's just stuck there. I can't get past this. Now, after a few seconds, it just completely disappears. It flies off into the night, the norm. It goes off to wherever the hell escape it came from. Now,
Mhm.
after it disappears, he comes across. There's the smell of ozone which is funny because it says in the air, an odor of ozone could be felt. That's heavy
Hmm.
to physically
Yeah.
feel something.
Yeah.
And it says, with thousands of thoughts in his head, he walked towards the cabin. He woke up his wife to tell her about what just happened, but she didn't believe
Hey.
him and said it was
Oh,
probably a nightmare.
yeah. I was gonna say,
Honey, go
here
to
it
bed.
comes.
It's fine.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
didn't see
say.
shit. Next
Exactly.
morning, he goes back to the landing site in the wheat field, was exactly where he saw it. He had this Oscar farmer guy that he was renting from with him. He's like, hey, yo, my wife thinks I'm nuts. Come with me, Oscar.
Yeah.
You gotta see this shit. It's your property, yo.
Mhm.
They search around, they find 3 deep impressions in the soil that go down 12 inches, like a whole foot. And they're 8 inches wide. I mean, these are big holes in the ground, right?
Yeah.
Now, the vegetation was pressed down in a circle that measured the outer oh my gosh, dimensions of the craft. Again, 36 feet, 12 meters.
Yeah.
And he reported the incident to investigators. And it just says this is one of many old cases found in the archive that are unexplained.
Yeah.
And that's the end of this account. You're reading a book, you look out the kitchen window, and there's a face staring at you, right?
Yeah. That's freaky as shit.
Yeah. And it clearly doesn't look necessarily human, but not human. My thing is again, it's in this blue light. The
Mhm.
overalls are in a blue hue. I would say it puts off this air of it's reflective, it's metallic, it's some kind of that was a weird beep. No, I don't want to put filtered keys. It says I'm pushing keys that I'm not pushing. It literally was like, you
Okay.
want sticky keys on? I'm like, I'm not even touching the keyboard.
Oh.
Whatever. But I'm wondering if it's something that's metallic or
Yeah.
shiny or something,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of weird, crazy material that's
Mhm.
reflective. And maybe the light from whatever's outside is
Mhm.
just reflecting off of it, making it have that appearance of being
Yeah.
blue.
Right.
Uh, I really don't feel that is necessarily blue. I think it's just a reflection, a person.
Mm.
So we go in there, we have this weird thing, right?
Yeah.
So then this guy's, what? He goes outside. Now,
Yeah.
granted, if he was under the assumption that this was the size of an 11 or 12-year-old child in the middle of nowhere, they
Mhm.
probably need
Right.
help. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And especially in the 50s and 60s, people were much more likely to help people. There were
Yeah.
no big internet stations. It was small town,
Yeah.
probably stuff. So they
Yeah.
probably thought that they needed help. So he goes outside. He chases this thing and he watches it climb up this ladder to this giant ass ship. I say giant, I guess 36 feet. I guess that's pretty big.
36 feet?
You say it was
Yes.
36 feet?
Yeah. But yeah, craft was quite big. Yeah, 36 feet in diameter. Yeah.
And diameter's all the way across, not halfway for those of you who don't remember geometry class.
Yeah, there you go.
And so that's, to me, that's not very big.
Yeah.
When I was, oh my God, I am drunk. When I was in high school, I could long jump 14 feet. That
That's
means that
real.
I could run and jump halfway across this thing. To me, it's
Uh,
not that big, but I guess if you're looking
yeah.
at it, 36 feet could be pretty large.
Yeah.
That's bigger than a school bus.
Yeah.
45 feet, it's smaller, but
Yeah, a little
it's
smaller.
a little smaller than a school bus, but it's a
9
pretty
feet,
good
yeah.
size. You see this
Yeah.
thing, it crawls up the ladder, it gets into this craft. It's got these 3 legs that are, and keep in mind, this is the 58. We have not quite hit
Yeah.
that alien craze yet. We don't have Betty and Barney
No.
Hill. We don't have anything.
We don't have
This
a man
guy's
on the
like,
moon. Yeah.
yeah, the alleged moon and
Uh-oh.
the alleged moon landing.
Oh,
Sorry, I
here we
literally just talked to
go.
somebody about this actually today. That's funny. I actually had a customer come in and we were talking. I told him about the podcast. He was asking me about my thoughts on the moon landing.
Mm,
That's really funny. It all comes together. And
love it.
Wow, my brain just stopped. But anyways, it gives it this craft and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
like goes up and then just gone.
yeah.
What would you do? Would you
Well,
wake up
after I
your
crap my
wife, you didn't tell the
pants.
wife about your doll. Would you wake up your wife and be like, babe, I just saw this small child jump into a spaceship? Stars.
I guess I would because I'd be, like, freaked out. Like, you'd be sitting there just, "Why are you up?" You know what I mean? You know
Oh,
how you maybe get up and your kid's up or something like that, and you're like, Why are you up? What's going on? Why can't you sleep? Are you sick or what's going on?" I just saw an alien, and this little alien kid was, like, staring at me, at least I think it was. I don't yeah, you'd be like, uh
okay. If you have a relationship with your wife that you'd be like, babe, you ain't gonna believe this shit. I just saw a spaceship. There was an alien, there was a spaceship. If you got that kind of relationship, I envy you
"Oh, there we go."
because I don't think I have ever been with someone that I could be like, yo,
Really?
this is
Really?
fucked up. Like, I would wake up screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night, just dripping sweat.
Yeah?
And my husband just thought that it was all in my head. It was fine.
Oh,
I
okay.
literally told him, I know person A is going to die. If you have anything that you need to say, you need to say it because you're running out of time. You got a couple days max
Mm.
and they're Audi 5000.
Yeah, yeah.
And after I was right multiple times before this, still did not believe me. Said it was in my head. It was all hocus
Sure.
pocus.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there's some people like that. You know what I think you know what sounds funny about this is 2 kids grabbed their dad's UFO went joyriding, and then they were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what's that in the window? That thing that creature looks different than us. Let's go check it out." Because that's
It's like,
exactly, the
yo,
way
I
kids
heard
are.
there is a fucked up. I heard there was a fucked up place over here in Quadrant 9, man. It's the
Yeah,
dump.
yeah, you
Because
gotta
I
check
mean,
this
really,
out.
kids do. They go down to the dump. It's like, let's see what kind of messed up stuff's
Yeah,
over the dump.
absolutely.
These damn hairless monkeys don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
Let's screw with them. You want to mess with them? It'll mess with them. Let's do it.
Yeah,
And then they're like drawing
absolutely.
straws. Which one of you guys has the? I guess I've never heard of an alien having balls. Which one of you guys has the gusto to go up to the
Yeah,
window? They're
yeah,
drawing
yeah.
straws
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and just like
with
with
a
little
terrestrial
kids.
coin.
Yeah, and just think about when you're a little kid too, when you do some stupid shit and then some adult would be like, "Hey, what?" You'd be like,
Just get off
you'd
my
go run.
lawn.
Yeah, right. And you'd go running and you're not getting a spaceship, but
Go.
in this case, you do.
And
That's
what's
what I
crazy is,
think it is.
again, I'll put the link on here because this one actually has some pretty good graphics. They came up with a graphic at the initial beginning of
Yeah,
it
yeah,
that's
that's
got the window.
freaky as
I
shit.
think it's a really good depiction of kind of what I was picturing.
Yeah.
Then a little makeshift drawing of the spaceship that they had. There's a map
Mhm.
of the land that he was on. What
Yeah.
looks like his drawing of the person with a
Yeah.
helmet on. It looks like a little
Yeah.
like race car driver.
Yeah, I know, it looks like
Mm.
yeah.
You can take the
I don't
car as long as you wear your helmet.
yes, dear, here's Mom, I don't wanna wear shut up. Here's a question for you. Why would it hypnotize? Is it just messing with the dude? Because he says he gets hypnotized, but
What I don't
why?
get though is he feels that he's hypnotized. How does he
Yeah,
have the wherewithal?
yeah.
Why am I using big words right now?
Ooh,
Wherewithal to maybe they're possessing me right now.
yeah,
To go, he grabs his coat. Okay,
yeah.
if I'm
Like
like
you
that,
snap
I
out of
would
this?
grab my coat.
Yeah, you just go running out there in your
Now, if he
sweats
comes
or
like
your
right by the
whatever.
door, or whatever, they hang their coat up,
Maybe.
and then he chases it, right? But what I think is
Yeah,
crazy, so he comes back the next day with Oscar, this farmer that he owns, that owns
yeah,
the
yeah.
and which actually that's a pretty sound assessment, right? I'm renting this house from you. You've been here forever. There's something on your property that you need to be
Right.
concerned about. I
Uh-huh.
think we need to go check it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't just see the ship. They
Yeah.
go and they both are seeing 3 mammoth size things in the ground.
Mm.
They're
Yeah.
12 feet deep. Oh, sorry, 12 inches.
So, yeah, 12
It
inches,
wants
yeah.
me to, but it's 12 inches deep, 8 inches wide. That is a big asshole. Even if you were, and
Yeah.
he's on a farm,
Right.
but that's even big. It's not a fence post.
Yeah.
It's big enough that
Yeah,
you can
no, it's
clearly
not
tell
a
it's not a
fence.
fence post. It's not,
Yeah.
it is unnatural.
Yeah.
There's physical evidence that they
Evidence.
have other than him seeing it. Like they go out, clearly something exceptionally heavy was out here. It doesn't say anything about weather patterns. Was it raining? Was
Yeah.
it dry? Because putting 12 inches into the ground, 8 inches wide when it's dry, it's a lot harder than say it's muddy and it lands. You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
To me, though, what I find fascinating is again, this is in 58. There's not a whole lot going on. We haven't hit that
Yes.
UFO craze yet.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this is Sweden. Without there being this big internet sensation and all this
Yeah.
stuff being very global and worldwide,
Mhm.
even everything that was beginning to happen faux wise was primarily in the US, was it not?
Correct.
I mean,
Well,
we have
that we
Betty and Barney
know.
Hill. We have actually, I just
Yeah.
covered Doll. I can't remember his first
Mm.
name, but Doll. The first Men in Black experience
Oh,
was in,
right.
I think,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
55 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It had, I don't think there was a way for it. And what he saw is not necessarily similar. I guess he says it's very humanoid. It just has big eyes. It's wearing a helmet, which
Yeah.
I feel like is very similar to Doll's encounter. I believe, because I remember
Yeah.
talking about the helmet and I was like, is it Juggernaut helmet? Is it race car helmet? It was very helmet based. I remember that being a part of it.
Yeah. Right.
Betty and Barney Hill, though, I haven't dug into them enough to know whether or not it was similar in appearance to that. Have you done a lot with Betty and Barney Hill?
Yeah. It was
Yours have like
sort of
jumpsuits and helmets?
no, they didn't. They had a jumpsuit, but they did not wear helmets at all. And they were like children size from what I recall about the story that I've heard. But no helmets at all. No helmets at all.
I just keep getting, I'm still tied up in this Doll thing. When Doll had his, I remember it was overalls and a helmet. That is exactly what this guy's seeing.
Yeah.
Helmet, and it says
Well,
overalls or
yeah.
a jumpsuit.
Nice.
And my thing is too, is we have Doll that happened in I think 55, and then we have this one in 58.
Mm.
It's in Sweden.
Mhm.
The other one, then we have the other one that happened in I believe it was Virginia or West
Yeah.
Virginia. Thing.
Yeah.
It was in the
Yeah.
States. Either way, I don't think that the information would go from one to the other in that time span.
Mm.
Because I believe that Dolls happened, which ironically around this, it was July. But it's in the warmer months before it gets too cool that these things are happening.
Yeah.
And I want to say, let me look real fast. I just want to double check here.
But you
It agrees
you
with
know,
me.
Roswell happened in 1947. It's weird. Yeah.
It is very similar. I want to see Antonio Villas Boas. I think this was Maury Island. 47 is when this one was.
Mm.
Lots of space between the vodka and the Harold Dahl, the 27th of June. I know what it was I was talking about. It wasn't this one. It was when I did the Sextraterrestrials on episode 69. It's going to be coming out soon.
Nice.
It might be this Villaboas, Antonio Villaboas. It was in 19, that's what it is, 1957. And he was in,
Oh, I think it sounds familiar.
oh, it was a real doozy. It was like, was
Yeah.
a farmer in
Okay.
Brazil.
Well, Oh,
He
yeah.
was 23. This guy said it was like 20s. And he had an alien come out of it, but his was an egg-shaped thing. And it had
Okay.
bib overalls and a helmet. So he goes into this egg-shaped thing, and there's this chickadee. If I remember
Yeah.
correctly, yeah, I'm talking right here. I'm like, what kind of overalls? Like Mr.
Uh-huh.
Voorhees? Well, what are we talking here?
Yeah.
And then it says, what kind of helmet? Juggernaut boxing, 50 sidecar racer. This is exactly the same type of thing. And it was like it was little yelps or whatever. It didn't talk, it just had little yips. But this one, I believe, was pretty small, 5 feet tall. That's about 11, 12 years old. This same being in Brazil.
Wow.
And
That
his was in October of 57. This guy is August of 58, like the next year, same
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
And he did. It's got the overalls, it's got the helmet. And then he goes in there. This is the one that he gets like all lubed up. And then like they spray this like gas in this room that he's in after they like get blood from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like intense, like bound chicka
Wow.
bound cow kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's literally, we have October of 57, August of 58. And we're talking a being about 5 foot tall, which is about 11-year-old.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
They have overalls or bibs or what they refer to it like similar in style. Excuse me. They both have a helmet on, and which actually this could track because the first
Yeah.
one was 57, and that's Antonio Boaz.
Yeah.
And with him, the guy, this egg-shaped craft like chases this fucker on a tractor, and it grabs him. 3 more come out and like,
Yeah.
grab him and pull him into this craft, and then they like.
Oh.
But then a year later, they go to Sweden, and it's I'm just gonna watch you through the window, and then I'm gonna run. Maybe they took a different approach with him
Yeah.
versus Boaz. But to
Yeah.
me, it is very interesting that's so close together. And how far away is Brazil from Sweden?
It's a pretty good haul. Let's put it that way.
And
But
I
not for
still don't
them.
see at that time frame though. Yeah, I think these are 2 rural men
Yeah.
in a rural community.
Right.
They didn't have access to the information that everybody has nowadays.
Right.
And
Yeah.
for them to have 2 separate encounters in 2 different countries a year apart with virtually sounding like identical beings, or at least
Yeah.
similar enough to be like overalls, helmet, blue. They are very similar. Even the lady that Boaz had on the ship, yes, she had big eyes, and the beings that took him had big eyes. And to
Yeah.
me, it's too much similarity to be brushed off.
Exactly.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
And I didn't see this until today. Like I pulled it up, we talked about it, and I'm reading it going, wait a minute. Like I went back because I thought we were talking about the same freaking encounter, and it is not, but they are very close they're close in time, they're close in
Yes.
description. It is very
Absolutely.
difficult for me not to correlate one with the other here.
Yeah. Totally get it.
That is
Yes.
crazy.
That is crazy.
What
That
would you
this
do
is
if you were abducted by aliens?
I not wanna do that at all because I've heard stories where it's just been like that. I've interviewed a couple of people who have been abducted, and they just remember the pain and everything they went through. They just you just the woman described it to me like she was just laying in bed. She'd just be laying in bed, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're paralyzed. And then
Yeah.
you just are lifted up. She was lifted up, and then the next thing she knew, she was laying on this table surrounded by these grays, aliens, and
Yeah.
they were like poking and prodding her. when you go to the
Yes.
doctor's office
Yes. Yes.
and it
Yes.
hurts, rather than when
Yeah.
they'll say to you, "Okay, this is you're gonna feel a pinch or whatever." That's what she said. It was just horrible. She said she couldn't go to sleep because she goes, "As soon as I close
Go
my
to
eyes
sleep. All is them.
and see is them." That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was very much, I went to
Very.
bed. I wake up. I'm immobilized. Like I've got a
No,
strap across
thank
my
you.
head, my shoulders,
No.
I'm
Yeah.
strapped down. I am naked.
Yeah. Nugget.
And I remember like I could move my head a little bit
Yeah.
to where I could look
Mhm.
down towards my
Yeah.
belly button.
Yeah.
And but the thing is things that I had that I
Yeah.
actually drew a picture of what I saw, like the being that I saw. And there was
Mhm.
multiple. There's like 3 of them that I could see, maybe 4. That's
Mm.
like hard to see.
Okay. Okay.
And they were looking down at me. And so they're looking, which is
Mm.
normal because that's probably what they're doing. And I remember trying to lift my head so I could see what they were looking at because they were very confused.
Mm.
One was like they were trying to figure out how to go in. Then they like cut me open and
Hmm.
anyway, they cut me open and they're like fishing, right? So they're like, what's weird is it didn't hurt really bad at the time.
Mm.
It was like, it felt weird. Like I could tell,
Yeah.
almost like when it was numb, I could tell they were moving
Yeah.
stuff, but it didn't hurt real bad.
Sure. Yeah, I got you.
Um, and they're like swirling this stick around, like they're looking for something, right?
Mm.
And the one's looking at the other one, what the hell's going on? Like, where is it? Like they're looking and they cannot find what they're
Yeah.
looking for. So they're confused. It's
Right.
they looked like they were talking, but I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
mentally, not physically. The
Mhm.
mouth, like the little slit they had, got a mouth, didn't move.
Yeah.
And they looked like they were confused. And they look back at me and they dig a little more and they look at each other. Like, what? And then
Mm.
one got angry. Like it got angry with the other
Mm.
one. Why
Interesting.
are you bringing me this faulty product?
Yeah.
And I remember looking down and I remember seeing a very traditional, like red beam cutting, like burning me shut. And the next thing I knew, boom, I'm in my room and my stomach felt like I had Tasmanian devil in my guts. My
Ooh.
insides just felt like they were knots.
Yeah.
I was nauseous. It hurt so bad. I was cramping
Yeah.
and I don't have parts down there. And I was cramping. Here's where it
Huh.
gets crazy. This is where it all comes together.
This is where it gets crazy?
Yeah, this is where it gets crazy. Now, this is where the logic meets what happened to me and it gets real
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay.
When an alien supposedly abducts a woman,
Mhm.
what do they use her for? What do they
Usually
use her for?
pregnancy.
Exactly. When
Yeah.
these things got to me and I woke up,
Yeah.
I had been fixed for 5 years at least. And by
Mm.
fixed, they literally took all of my organs out. It was physically impossible for me to get pregnant
Well,
because it was too dangerous. I
okay.
kept losing a bunch of kids. So they just took them all out. And
Okay.
one, there's that. Two, I had surgery on my stomach. And when they did it, they removed my natural belly button. My belly button is fake. They made my belly button. My belly button's not even real. I'm not hooked up.
Yeah.
Normally, when you hear of people being abducted, they go through the
Yeah.
belly button into where they need
Right.
to go and they impregnate them.
Yeah.
One, they're trying to go in through my belly button that is not real.
Mm.
Okay. They're like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
Right above my belly button, I
Yeah.
had 6 months before this, I had my appendix removed. I have a
Mm.
big, giant, thick scar right above my belly button. So for
Mm.
them, it's fuck it. She's not going to notice anything here. They cut it open and they go in and
Wow.
they're swirling, right? They're swirling. They're looking. I have no uterus.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were doing is they were
Yeah.
looking at the other one. What the hell's going on? Where is it?
Yeah,
Where
like woo-woo.
and I don't have it.
Yeah.
One, the entryway was different because I don't have the access point and the
Mm.
plumbing and the hookup that
Yeah.
like normal humans do. I couldn't get in. the normal way. They get in and my parts are missing.
Yeah.
And you got to think,
Yeah.
when this happened, I'm 34.
Okay.
I am prime baby making time for a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are probably extremely confused as to why they're thinking this is awesome. This is primo,
Yeah.
like specimen. They're like, what the hell where is it all?
Yeah. Where'd it
So I
go?
think they were confused. They were digging around some more. They were confused. They dug around some more. And then eventually they were like, fuck, she doesn't have it. Then one
Yeah.
seemed frustrated with the other one, like, why are you bringing me this? I can't use this. Take her back. So they
Yeah.
sewed me back up and just dropped me back. Like,
Mhm.
all right, whatever. Like faulty,
Hmm.
but thank God they didn't just like
Throw
eliminate
you in
me,
the
I
trash
guess.
heap. Yeah. Put you in a dumpster.
But that's what's
Whatever.
so crazy is in
That's
what
crazy.
my brain was thinking, is this a dream or is it real?
Mhm.
It was, and I have had dreams, multiple dreams that have
Yeah.
happened.
Sure.
And for anybody who doesn't have this happen to them, for those of you who do, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It feels different. When it is a dream that is real,
Mm.
it feels different. And when this happened, it was that kind of dream.
Sure.
It was real. I could feel everything. It was cold. It was metal. It was,
Mhm.
I was present in the
Mhm.
scenario.
Yeah.
One, it was realistic. It was vivid. And it says, I know. And the fact that what they were doing and how
Mm.
they were reacting makes 100% sense to
Yeah.
me being different.
Sure.
Now, if it was just like, oh, we're just going to do this, XYZ, blah, 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 same old, then okay, that wouldn't make any sense. But the fact that they were like, shit, this isn't work. This is a roadblock, roadblock, roadblock. And then they were mad and
Yeah.
then they sent me back. And then the fact that, because when I woke up, I was like, that was a really weird dream. And then my stomach hurts bad. It
Mhm.
was like horrible cramps in my stomach. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I'm like, and then I started to panic because I'm like, was that real? Because I'm
Yeah.
feeling physical, real pain. I am awake and I am feeling pain in the exact same places I should be if this happened to
Mhm.
me.
Yeah. That is messed up.
And so I'm
Wow.
always like, people are like, oh, I'm like, I may or may not have been abducted. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It
God.
was pretty real and it made a lot of sense, but
Yeah.
I'm just very skeptical. And I'm like,
I hear you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I think that's all I've got for this one. Do you have anything else with the alien or the weird
No.
thing on the trail
No.
cam?
No. I not really. I think it's really interesting. Like, we're hearing these stories now, especially more with aliens. Like, people are just accepting it rather
Yes.
than secret. I'm not gonna talk secret. See, it's here's a
I
whole
feel like
mess of
there
them.
are a lot. Now,
Oh, a
even though
lot.
there's a lot coming out, here's where I struggle. It has been stigmatized for so long that even if people go, and they 1,000,000% believe what happened to them, no one's going to believe you.
No. You know what else I miss is
Hmm.
no one's getting anal probed anymore. Remember? I don't know if you remember that at all.
Yes.
Like, people would
Have
be
you not
like,
seen my
they,
merch? Okay.
yeah,
Shameless
come on.
plug. Go
There we
look at
go.
my merch. I have a
There we
t
go.
shirt and I have men's boxer briefs with the same design. It's an alien. Looks like a little gray. And he's holding up a peace sign and it says, "We do butt stuff."
Yeah, see that? I love it.
Yes. And you can get it in boxer brief or t shirt.
There you go. I gotta get
But
one.
yeah, I mean, there really is. There's a lot of,
You know,
I think it changed too. So I think initially there was a lot of, we're testing, they're probing, they're taking samples,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing this,
Right,
they're
right.
inflicting this pain. And then I feel like it transitioned into, now we're hybrid race. We're trying to create more. We're trying to, either we're impregnating you or we're having you sleep with this
Mhm.
sexy alien lady.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, as weird as it is, people can be skeptical about it. It is on. And all of this stuff. if we think about it, it
Mm.
actually makes logical sense because you would want to test what you were using before you used it.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely.
makes sense that we have probings and brain implants and
Yeah.
all of these experiments to be like, I mean, think about it. We do that. You
Yes.
have a medication coming out. You do the medication,
Yes.
you find out what's happening. You don't jump immediately to human testing. And I just got really weird cold chills everywhere. You don't automatically chip. You start rat, then you go monkey or whatever, dog, monkey, and you work your way up the chain
Yeah.
to whatever similar to
Right.
us. And then once you get enough human, but you get that success rate, then you're like, okay, I can use
Mhm.
this in this type of person. It's, and you know what? If you guys are going to be mad at me, don't at me. I don't give a shit. That's just the best thing I can come up with. They could have used that medication for sickle cell anemia on
Sure.
all types of people, but it's
Yeah.
not going to work the way it needs to work until you put it in an African based person, whether it
Yeah.
be mix or 100% or down, whatever the case may be. You got to
Mhm.
think they had to test that medication on multiple people first.
Yeah.
Just like there are medications out there that work, but there might be two medications, right?
Mhm.
Their job is the exact same job. They are supposed to say it's depression. We're just gonna go with
Yeah.
depression.
Yeah.
Say they both fight depression. There are actual medications where one medication will work if you are primarily Caucasian. It'll work. Thank you. It says yes. They'll both work, but one might work better if you are Caucasian. The other will work better if you're African American or of African descent. Just like there's
Mhm.
some that work better if you're of Native American descent or Asian descent. It's something that you had to trial and error. Just like for
Sure.
instance, there are heart stents, right?
Mhm.
And we make all kinds of heart stents in the US. They get shipped all over the world. You cannot advertise and sell a certain type of heart stent in Asia that you can
Mm.
do anywhere else in the world,
Mm.
not based on pay or anything like that. It is strictly based on genetically speaking, Asian descendants are smaller than, say, someone from Ireland or German. They're taller, they're bigger, they're
Yeah.
just physicality. People might be like, oh, blah, blah. No, it's physicality. Okay. And you cannot market certain stents in Asia because you will kill your patient.
Sure.
Surgeon. Exactly. Thank you. Mm, Because you have to get one that's smaller because
Right.
it's going to fit your clientele, essentially. I don't want to call them customers because it's not like it's their choice,
Yeah.
but patients. It's going to fit their
Yeah.
patients more. There's just certain things that we have had to create as much as we
Sure.
like to have that viewpoint of we're all the same on the inside, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as people want to believe that, it's just not the case. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm
Yeah.
sure if there's some kind of genetic sequencing involved, maybe they want a certain type and you need to find,
Sure.
because that even leads to the fact that people say that it's like hereditary. If you're
Mhm.
abducted, then odds are your kids are going to be abducted. The kids are going to
Good.
be abducted, and
Yes.
so on and so forth.
Right.
And why would they do that if they didn't know that whatever is in your gene pool is something they need? It, when you back up and you look at it 10,000 feet in the air, no pun intended, because there's flying saucers, but
Ah.
it makes sense in the time frame of what happens when
Mhm.
and why they do what they do. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, anybody who's had any weird encounters, send them to my email, cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com. And I'm sure John would like them. Check
Yes.
out the description because I'm going to have all of your links and all of the stuff that you can fill out in this nice little form that you put online to put down there. So you guys can find him, look him
Thank
up,
you.
and look him up. And like I say, on my show, this is how we roll. We like, we share, And we only leave 5-star reviews, y'all. None of this
Yeah.
1-star bullshit. We don't want that crap. You keep it to yourself. 5
Yeah.
stars, because you know what? If I have them on the show, they're the shit. You check them out.
Love
That was
it.
like the best segue I've ever had. And I've been doing this for a year, and that is the best.
Yeah.
Good, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Get into your like that,
Drink-
mofo.
Yeah, you gotta drink more. That's even
I was like, this works. We got an agreement. But yeah, again, everybody, definitely show John some love. Don't forget to leave a review for mine. 5 stars, preferably. I am open to criticism unless you're going to be a douche, then I don't want to hear it. See ya. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and give the show a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show and allows people to find us more easily. Also, head on over to www.patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy and subscribe to any of the tiers. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shoutouts on the pod, ad-free episodes, access to the private Discord server, quarterly appreciation gifts, and a chance to be on the show. Not to mention video versions of the episode. Before you go, don't forget to click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some self-designed merch by me, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please send them to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experiences on a listener episode. Just make sure that you specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show and let me know whether or not you would like your real name read or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you guys all again so much for your support. Until next time, my friends. See ya.